After World War I, Germany's new government wasn't doing too well, especially with the economic crisis. After the big war, communists tried to start a revolution, and the government was getting too big for their britches and worried about any sort of new communism. A new party called the German Workers' Party had a bunch of red flags, so one certain spy named Adolf Hitler was asked to infiltrate one of their meetings. But they were wrong. They weren't communists at all, and they were indeed fascists, just like Hitler. So we quit being a spy and joined the party. You may be wondering how we got to all this, and if you are, watch my other videos about World War I. Hitler had good speaking abilities, so he quickly rose to the top. He also decided the party needed some change, so he renamed it to the National Socialist German Workers' Party, or Nazi for short. They gave it a new color scheme and flag as well. Hitler promised them he would do good for them by undoing the Treaty of Versailles and uniting all ethnic Germans into one independent nation. Oh, and he also said only pure Aryan Germans should be allowed to be citizens, everyone else should go themselves. Especially the Jews. These were all common ideas among the German right-wing parties. And what made the Nazis different was Hitler himself. He quickly made the Nazis the leading party among all extreme right parties. Lots of German parties had their own sort of army or protection service, and the Nazis had the Meeting Hall Protection Detachment, and later changed the name a few times and settled on the Storm Detachment, or as we know it, the SA. Their job was defending Nazi party meetings and speeches, as well as making political leaders wet themselves. They also engaged in battle with other parties, especially communists. Many of the German soldiers who had been sent out due to the Germans reducing their army, they liked the Nazi idea and their ideology, so a lot of them joined the SA. Like I said earlier, the new German government was really weak.
Oi, hand over the money, Lebowski.
They printed more money. But the thing is, when you print money, you don't make more money. You just make it less valuable. And the government continued to print a ton of money, and the economy crashed. For example, in 1923, $1 US was worth 4.2 trillion German marks. Germany, of course, struggled to pay the Allies, so the French occupied the Ruhr, an area full of factories, and took the output as payment. Workers were treated horribly, and it really sucked. Almost 100 people died during the occupation. So the Germans knew that it was time for revolution. In 1923, Hitler called a meeting at a beer hall, and with his new supporters, he marched through the city of Munich, and the police didn't like that one bit. So Hitler was put on trial. But the judges liked him, so they only sentenced him for 5 years. However, he only served 9 months, and his cell was more like a fancy little hotel room, where he had enough time to write a book. This all made him famous among all Germans, but not all Germans really cared for him too much. In 1929, America loaned Germany some moolah to help pay reparations. But then, the Wall Street crash happened, and America wanted their moolah back. Germany already had trouble paying reparations, but with this on top of it, Germany just couldn't take it. It was clear that the current democratic government wasn't working. So most chose either extreme right or extreme left. Hitler made himself look like this big, strong, powerful man, and he also gave the Germans something to blame for their troubles: Jews. Some said heck yeah, some didn't like the racism but voted for him anyways, and the rest didn't know about politics at all but voted for him anyways. In 1932, they were the biggest party around, so Hitler ran for president, but then did pretty well but lost to the popular Hindenburg, general in World War I. So after that epic fail, he asked Hindenburg to make him chancellor, but he didn't. And then he did in 1933, but not yet the dictator. In February, the Parliament building was set on fire, and some say the Nazis did it, but Hitler blamed the commies. So they were all in prison and sent to the first ever concentration camps. Then Hitler decided he wanted to be the dictator, and everyone was kind of cool with that. And then 2 months later, Hitler became the sole dictator, and the Weimar Republic was no more, and the Nazis were in power.